Hello, my name is Juri Love. My website is jurilove.com, jurilove.com. Today I want to talk about mental health. So I'm a survivor of child sex abuse, bullying, domestic violence, homelessness. I've written a book called A Gift from Adversity, and this was published in 2020. And this year, 2022, I started a show called A Gift from Adversity, which is a platform that I want to focus on talking specifically about adversity. So I've had amazing guests so far, and we had 10 episodes so far. So I just wanted to thank you for listening to the show, and thank you for the guests to share their adversities and more to come. But I wanted to create this platform because there's a stigma about mental health, adversity, shameful things that people don't want to talk about. But it's not a shame, it's brave, and it's something that happened to you. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about mental health. So when I was a kid in Japan, there was nothing available to talk about mental health or even diagnosis. So I didn't know that I had PTSD until 21 when I came to Berkeley College of Music, when I had kind of a mental breakdown in between the first and second semester, which not so many people know. But my guidance counselor told me, you have PTSD, which I had no idea. And so my story is that between age 8 to 13, I was sexually abused from my dad and uncles too. And physically, emotionally, verbally, so I escaped from him when I was 13. And then um, I started living with my mom, and something happened, and I tried to kill myself, and I was homeless at 18. But my book, A Gift from Adversity, it talks so much about the details. So if you're interested in, you can go on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, or BookLogix is my publisher that you can purchase A Gift from Adversity. So anyways, after I published my book, there are so many people who came forward that they were also the victim of sexual abuse or homelessness, which I had no idea. Some of the people that I absolutely had no idea that they went through that. And I've had people contact me from Nigeria or like Atlanta or Virginia, like so many places that sometimes people are in the middle of crisis and just told me that they read my book. And but anyways, so I am really grateful for the response, and also I'm very proud of myself that finally I was able to advocate for myself and then my story. But recently, I'm a journalist for the Fox Reporter and the Sun Chronicle, and then this is the paper that I write for, the Fox Reporter, and I actually took this photo. So, anyways, I've written over maybe like 400 articles so far. This coming October this year will be my third year. So, anyways, it's been an amazing journey to be a journalist. I'm actually writing 3 articles this week. So, anyways, the point of this video today is I wanted to share some of my thoughts about mental health, and also I just covered a story called about a new club at the Foxborough High School called Student Alliance on Mental Health. So let me share my screen, and then you can see um, this article. So this one, new group at high school started by student focuses on mental health. I saw this fundraiser on Foxborough discussion page, and like I'm like, what is that? So I approached the mother of Haley, and she kindly introduced me to her daughter. So this is my lead line: normalizing the discussion over mental health, and taking action is becoming more of a priority in the state and nationally, especially with increased isolation during the pandemic. So this is a full-blown article that you can Google the Fox Reporter, Juri Love. So it's called Student Alliance on Mental Health. And then I'm not gonna read the whole article, but basically what happened was this girl Amanda, she really felt like isolated during the pandemic, and after she came back to school, she just felt really compelled to um, start this club. And then how she really expressed to me by interview is that she really thought that people would make fun of the new club and maybe wouldn't be able to start or didn't know what to do, but then she wanted to. So then now she has about like 35 members and then 5 board members. So then I interviewed also Haley, and then she joined, and also she was when like the pandemic, like she really felt um, a lot of pressure, like in mental health, that needs to be talked about. So they have the Instagram page, actually Foxborough, FOXBOROSAMH. So you can follow their Instagram if you like. And yeah, this is very unusual club that they started, and but I think it's really really amazing that they started it, and how they are hoping to really create a platform that they can talk about the mental health. And this is what Amanda, who started the club, said, we truly hope that people can see this club as a way to exercise their feelings and truly feel like they are not alone. So this is really important. This was very important piece for me because I really suffered with the mental health problems, and throughout my life I just wish that there was some resources and then what to do from early on, like when I was really struggling with it. Now, this club, I suggested that maybe they can reach out to the middle school or even elementary school. Maybe they can have a student alliance on mental health version of it to younger generations as well. Because earlier that you can talk about this is faster and then better that they can address and then not go into deep depression or panic attacks and stuff. So, anyways, I just wanted to share this article. Now, I started this show, A Gift from Adversity. It's available on Anchor.fm. If you go to Anchor.fm and then click on A Gift from Adversity, search on A Gift from Adversity or maybe Juri Love, it should come. And this is my trailer. Welcome to A Gift from Adversity. My name is Juri Love. I published my book, A Gift from Adversity, in 2020. After I published my book, a lot of people shared their adversities. Mine is child sex abuse, bullying, domestic violence, and homelessness. I wanted to create this podcast for people to share their adversities, but not only that, their tips and advice, how they overcame and how they see adversity as a gift. I hope you be inspired by these episodes, and thank you for our guests for sharing their stories. So, first of all, I really want to thank all the guests who came to my show. This has been my manifestation. This has been my dream. So when I published my book, I wanted to go a book tour, but pandemic hit and then that didn't happen. So I just decided to share this platform. So check out my page, A Gift from Adversity, on Anchor.fm, or also on Spotify, I Gift from Adversity, J Love, and then YouTube. I have all these episodes on my YouTube channel. It's my YouTube is Juri Love, JURILOVE. And then I have all episode 1 to 10, and we go actually, I'm using StreamYard, so I'm going Facebook and YouTube live when I interview people, and then it'll store to the YouTube, and I put the audio to the Anchor.fm. So anyways, I just wanted to share, but also I wanted to talk about my personal experience on mental health. So now I recently had some personal things that I don't want to disclose, but I got this wonderful one-page coping skill that the clinician gave it to me. So how does this work is, um, well, before that, my show, A Gift from Adversity, we talk about the adversity first and then the tools, what kind of things, tangible things that people did to overcome the adversity, which has been very helpful. Each guest had completely different methods, but even if you have one or two or maybe 10, that would help. So, and then the last part of it is, what is the gift from adversity? So, anyways, so I just wanted to share some of the coping skills that you can do to prevent the panic attack. And then the key is, when you are having panic attack, it's too late. So you need to do these things daily for you to not go into that mental stage. So my case is, I never had this much of information when I was growing up. Nobody told me I had a PTSD. Nobody said anything like how to cope, and especially in Japan, going to counselor is like really like a shame. And then like some people lose jobs like when people find out that you have a therapist. So it's a huge stigma, and then I think it's changing a lot more, but people thought it was crazy. But one thing I need to really address here is that, for instance, we know how to treat ourselves when we have fever, and then we don't think about it. We can even talk to people, oh, I just had a fever, I can't go to work. But how can people not say, I had a panic attack, so I can't come to work? So, and then that is like really stigma that you can't tell. Or that, I think that's really wrong, because emotional injury. So emotional injury is one of the statement that has on 51A, which is a child abuse in Massachusetts. So it's not just emotional damage, it's an injury. So how do you treat injury? For instance, if you have a cut, obviously you try to stop bleeding, and then you like maybe apply or like some of the medicine and then band-aid, and then we know what to do, and then we know what to do when we have like fever, like take Tylenol, ibuprofen, like just get rid of it. And the toothache, you go to dentist. But then how about mental health and emotional injury that we talked about? And I didn't even know the word emotional injury until recent, because when you have the trauma and the mental health issues, people don't see you, that you have a scar, you're bleeding, like your emotion is bleeding. Nobody sees that. So you just like live normal life. Like in Japanese, we say honne tatemae, which is professed intention and real intention. And also, we have this saying called neko kaburu, which means like put social mask on, like cat mask on, so nobody sees what's going on, which sometimes help obviously in like professional world. Then nobody needs to know your business, and then you can just talk to close friends and stuff. But the point is, if you have traumatic event and abuse, it really affects your brain and then emotions. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I kind of have an epiphany of, why can't we find these tools earlier? Like, why didn't I have these tools earlier in my life to help myself, so not I didn't like waste like 20 years of my life or 30 years of my life being depressed and then feeling that I was not beautiful. Like, I'm 45 right now, but when I was younger, I think I was much more beautiful, but my self-esteem was so destroyed that I was doing the fashion model for the national magazine, um, in Tokyo, and I never really felt beautiful. And then it's been very hard journey for me, and dependency of the man, or like the social pressure of, because women have to marry and then be with somebody, and then your worth is not there without a man. And then that I've been single mom since 2019, and it's just like so much of brainwashed and social pressure that I felt like a failure, but it's not. And then even my PCP, primary care doctor, said, you're in America, it's okay to be single, and it's okay. And then I'm just really learning, like the self boundary and self care. And then really the truth is, the mental health issue was never addressed growing up. So I just wanted to share some of the techniques that I learned recently, and also more importantly, stigma, and also how do we treat ourselves? Like, how can we like tackle this, like, without freaking out, without having a panic attack? When I remember when I had no counseling before, one time I got yelled at the Starbucks, and then it just like went straight to the panic attack, and then the depression mental stage. I couldn't get out of it for 1 week. And then one of my guests, David Torres Jr., told me about his drug addiction and alcohol um, addictions, that he went to this treatment center, and then they told him a lot of techniques to get out of the panic attack, out of the anxiety. Within like 10 minutes he can come back to normal self. And then so it's just like, when you're bleeding, like, obviously you have to patch it and you have to really treat it. But what are the things that you can do? And then what are the things that works for you? But again, it's too late to do that when you are in a full-blown panic attack, which I've had it many times. I ran, I was hiding, and it's just really devastating. And I just feel like I wasted my lifetime for not being able to cope with this, and then blamed myself a lot. But at the end of the day, I just didn't have enough resources. And if I had these things, or if we talked more about this, then there's no stigma, and then you can just say, okay, she's going through that, my friend going through that. It's okay. It's completely okay. Nothing is life threatening. We just have to find a tool to get out of it. So these are the list of things. I don't think I'm gonna say everything. Maybe I will. But yeah. um, it says blow bubbles, um, cook or bake, which I really love. Um, cognitive reframing. I don't know what that is. Count to 10. You can do that. Chat with friends. I'll do. And um, clean and organize. I think cleaning is really good because it kind of creates new energy, and then maybe in the space. And then when you're cleaning, it's tangible, measurable outcome, and you can see that it got cleaned. Create and use a hope box, which I really don't know what it is. Deep breathing. I heard this technique, like it's inhale is one nose, and then kind of like stop, and then breathe out from the other nose. That's what my mom told me. But anyways, and it says dance, do word search or crossword, and draw, paint, color. We went to Muse Paint Bar. It was really like therapeutic. I really had so much fun painting. Drink some tea. So you can definitely, I like matcha latte, so that's my like go-to. So you can like, make hot cocoa or whatever, and drink water. Water is important. You should be always hydrated, and exercise, do something. So I actually started karate in August, so that's been very, very helpful. Says find new hobby. I have a lot of things that I'm doing. So yeah, I've done needlepoint. I've done like knitting. So definitely finding a new hobby can help. Um, so this is called coping skills, and then other strategies to not have panic attack. So anyways, so let's see. So next one is free writing, journal. Journaling is therapeutic, and give yourself a project to accomplish. And I accomplished a lot of things. So that felt really good. Um, grounding exercise, have a healthy snack, hold a soft, cuddly toy, and imagine your safe place, and knit or crochet, laugh, haha, and um, learn something new, maybe new language. You can learn Japanese if you like. It says treat actually let yourself cry. Listen to music. Listen to nature sounds or calming music or ASMR. Somebody said my voice gives like ASMR. I'm not sure if it's true. No. Make a joke and make a list of people that care about you, things that bring you joy, things that give you hope and inspire you. And it says mindfulness and meditation activity nap. Meditation, yeah, I've heard so much about meditation from my guests. Nap, take a nap. Play a board game with someone. Play with cars. Solitaire. And progressive muscle relaxation. I didn't know what to do with this. So basically, what the clinician said was to hold tight like 10 seconds and then let it go. And like a shoulder and then let it go. But if you're at work or school, whatever, you can just do like leg, like just tense the leg and then it releases, and that is one of the method. Put a puzzle together, read a book or magazine, and reach out to providers. Rip a paper into pieces. Something like you just write something that's like maybe frustrating you and then rip it off. Say something kind to yourself. So self-sabotage is very common things for people who are especially abused. My case is I grew up with a lot of verbal abuse along with the sexual and physical, and I was told I was ugly, stupid constantly, and then I believed myself as that. But people told me I was beautiful or whatever. I just, it's so hard to get out of that. So my doctor told me that Juri, there's a website called compassion.org or something. You just have to be careful of saying something to yourself to harm yourself. Just don't use those words as if it's your best friend. So you don't say nasty things to your best friend. So why would you say nasty things to yourself? Like you're stupid and stuff. So yes, definitely be careful of what you say to yourself. It's hard. It's really hard, but you just have to pick and choose the word to not sabotage yourself. So they said scribble on paper and separate, take space. So a lot of times when I had a panic attack, even when I went on vacation, like beautiful places, like I just get this state of mind, and then hide. Beatles trigger me because my dad used to listen to that. Something that you know what triggers you, that you have to hide. Like if you know what triggers you, maybe you can avoid. So that's another thing, recognizing what triggers you so you don't have to go to this mental stage. So another one is sing. So if you like to sing, and it says spend time with others. Sometimes, hey, let's go out to lunch, a coffee, or even Zoom, video chat. I think it's very important. Reach out. You don't have to tell, like, I'm going through a crisis or something. You can just say, hey, let's hang out, and that can really help you. Splash cold water on your face. So this one is sensation of your nerve, and then the clinician told me, and one of my guests, Deidre, told me too. She's a survivor of 2 active shooting, and sometimes splashing the water, holding the ice cube, or maybe hot shower, it stimulates the nervous system, and then you just snap out of this mental stage. So, anyways, stretch, take a shower, bath, as I just mentioned, take a walk. It's like 8 degrees here right now, so I don't want to take a walk. But think of something funny. So maybe list of things that you think it's funny that you can think of. My funny story, I guess I have to think of that one. I have many funny stories. I got punched in LA. And when I got punched in LA, I was touring with Kate Pearson from the B-52s, Graham Parker, Bill Janovitz. And after playing at Knitting Factory, I got punched in my solar plexus, and I thought I was gonna um, faint or something. But some people came and then told me, "Are you okay?" So I said, "Yeah, I have a six pack. I do." And so I was okay. And next day, I was kind of starting to feel pain. I was lying down in a green room, and this is in my book, by the way. But then I went to San Diego to perform, and after the performance, the hotel got double booked. So my tour manager was given a penthouse. Instead of the stars, I was just a keyboard player, background musician, backup singer. I had two keyboards, melodica, pretty cool. So, anyways, he gave me the penthouse because I got punched. I don't know if it's funny, but life. But anyways, so something like have a list of things that you think is funny, and then when you are going to this mental stage, just think about something. Oh my god, I got punched. Whatever. So, anyways, and next thing on the list is throw, bounce, throw and bounce a ball. So maybe like wall ball. Um, use a stress ball and silly um, something in the fidget spinners. So those are available, and use positive affirmations. I actually did that. My son and I were doing Don't Look Up. I was a Japanese reporter. My son was Mark Rylance child aid. We had to sequester 8 days in a hotel because of the pandemic. We didn't have vaccination back then. So when we are sequestering in a hotel, my acting coach James DeMont had this assignment to do affirmation, 30 days affirmations. I brought this index card, and every day you're beautiful, you're strong. You have to write like 30 affirmation thing, and you have to say it like multiple times while you're brushing teeth and stuff. I had all this like index card post on a mirror in a hotel for 8 days, and I did affirmation every day. But that's just like really stimulating your subconscious and then reprogramming your brain, and how you can affirm yourself. Video games, um, if you like video games, and visualize your favorite place. We just recently went to Hawaii, so I just think about Waikiki Beach. Um, and I went to Dead Sea in Israel, so it was beautiful. So I would really have to think about Dead Sea and how warm it was, how intense it was, how beautiful it was. So yeah, that was really beautiful. And watch a happy movie or television show. And there's a lot of comedy shows that makes you laugh. I actually like really like movie that makes you cry, like a drama, Falls in Our Stars, and um, Notebook. Those are my favorite. It's just like amazing. It doesn't have to be necessarily a happy movie. I think it can be an emotional movie that you can engage. Another thing is write down what is bothering you. If you want, throw it away or rip it up. So my guest David mentioned this while he was in the recovery center, that he was journaling, writing down what was bothering him instead of saying. So that might be a really good technique. I personally never done that. I wrote a book. Um, read poetry, yell into a pillow, which I don't think I've ever done that, but yell into a pillow. Yoga. So then there's a Smatonia hotline, which is 1-877-870-4673, 877-870-4673. And then you can do a text, crisis text line, HELLO, hello, or 741741. And if you are in Massachusetts area, you can call Riverside Emergency Service Team. It's at 781-769-8674, 781-769-8674, or 529-5077. They're open 24/7. So anyways, I just wanted to go over this list, and then whatever works, you should always have the toolbox. So when I was interviewing Deidre, she said it's very important to have toolbox. It means you have these coping skills, these list of things that you can do every day to not get into the panic attack. And then when you get into the panic attack, you can recall some of the things that you can do. So again, this stigma of the mental health, because we don't know what to do. And if my friends is going to a panic attack or crying or being depressed, most of us don't know what to do, how to help. And sometimes it can escalate, and then law enforcement will come or something. But that's really not the point. Really, the point is that we all should talk about this and normalize the conversation and recognize that emotional injury is there. If you're bleeding, people panic and treat each other, but then, or like going to ER, obviously, or urgent care, but then when it's emotional injury and that can be triggered by something that, my case is say Beatles, or when may yell at me or something, I go into this really bad stage of mind. So when I feel that, just like my friend David, who came to my show, like just have breathing or something that you can do. Deidre says she has a rock that she holds. She showed me during my interview. So like something tangible, and then if you don't have it, maybe you can think about like the vacation of funny things, like my punching story, or have ice cube on your hand. Definitely, like or you cannot take a shower like in the middle of the street, but there are so many things that you can do to help yourself and help others. So I really wanted to share this because a concept that I learned by doing a gift from adversity and learning more about the panic attacks and then the PTSD really is treat it like you have a fever, treat it like a medical condition, and then how fast can you snap out of the panic attack. The way it works, I learned from the counselor, is the limbic part of the brain, the primitive part of the brain, gets so fired up when you get triggered. And it shuts down, it fires up, it shuts down the cognitive part of the brain. So when you take the temperature, it's really red for the limbic part of the brain, and the cognitive part shuts off, which is to protect yourself or fight or flight, like freezing and then hiding, all that stuff. But you don't necessarily have to go to that extreme. If you can do these exercises and then the coping skills every day, and then just make a joke and then funny things, or treat yourself with sushi or ramen, I think you win when you have the trauma and have a day that you feel really good about yourself, and then you're alive, and then you go through the day, and whatever you're doing, you just congratulate yourself, pat your shoulder, and then just be proud of yourself and that you're brave today, and then you can get through this, but without putting way too much pressure. Just really try to do these techniques and have a list of things that you can maybe write it down on your note on the phone, or like physically. And I always like put it on my kitchen counter so I can see. So anyways, it's a long video, but I just wanted to share my experience and learning from my guests. And check out A Gift from Adversity. It's on Anchor.fm and Spotify, and then YouTube, Juri Love. And thank you so much for listening. And I really, really, really hope if you are suffering with mental health that you can snap out of it. Make sure you know your life is short, and then your life can end anytime unexpectedly. So do not give a power to your perpetrator to screw your day. Instead, really, really try to these techniques. There are so many resources that you can do to protect yourself from the perpetrator. It's not the initial rape or initial assault that can really mess up your brain. It's aftermath. And aftermath, I've experienced it for good 30 years. And I just wished that these resources were available when I was growing up and were talked about. The mental health, abuse, PTSD, all that things. There's nothing to be ashamed about. It's not your fault. And reach out to the right people. And self affirmation and learn self boundaries, self care, self respect. It's very, very, very difficult, especially someone like myself who are violated constantly, sexually, physically, verbally. Like, I had no idea what the hell was happening to me. So now I'm an adult. So I just really hope that people don't have to suffer like I did, and then be able to enjoy and be able to feel that you're beautiful and worth living on this earth, and you are, and really not waste your time and be able to live fully and realize all your dreams and attract all these beautiful people in your life and be able to move on from the trauma. Sending my love.